I am Natasya Busst, and this is Nightline, the top stories. The Thailand-Cambodia border conflict, PM says ASEAN observer team to be deployed to ensure ceasefire compliance. And coal handling crane collapsed at Tanjung Bin power plant, leaves 2 workers dead. Armed Forces Chief General Tan Sri Muhammad Nizam Jafar will lead the ASEAN Observer Team, AOT, in monitoring the border crisis between Cambodia and Thailand. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said he had requested the deployment of the AOT, with the mission to be complemented by satellite monitoring capabilities provided by the United States government, commencing at the same time. Findings from the satellite monitoring and field observations will be compiled by the AOT and presented during the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting on Tuesday. In a social media post on Saturday, Anwar, who is ASEAN's chairman for 2025, said the report will provide an objective account of the situation, including the positions of both parties, in the interest of accountability, confidence building, and the preservation of peace and stability in the region. He added that Malaysia remains committed to working closely with ASEAN partners and the international community to ensure that dialogue, restraint, and diplomacy prevail. He also revealed that he had earlier held separate calls with his counterparts from Thailand and Cambodia, Anutin Chanvirakul and Hun Manet. During both exchanges, Anwar conveyed Malaysia's deep concern over the situation and urged all parties to exercise maximum restraint, immediately cease all hostilities, and refrain from any further military actions, including the use of force or the forward movement of armed units, with effect from December 13th. In an earlier social media post, Anwar stated that he had been contacted by U.S. President Donald Trump to discuss the Thailand-Cambodia conflict. During the discussion, Anwar outlined Malaysia's role in urging both countries to exercise restraint and return to dialogue through bilateral channels and ASEAN mechanisms. The Prime Minister also said that Malaysia remains prepared to support efforts to de-escalate the situation, safeguard civilians, and help restore regional stability in keeping with ASEAN's spirit of good neighborliness. Anwar also expressed his appreciation for the active engagement of the U.S. with ASEAN and the confidence placed in Malaysia as ASEAN chair for 2025.
United States and Malaysia, and together we took part in the signing of
In the meantime, Anutin vowed on Saturday to continue military operations against Cambodia, despite the U.S. president's claim that he had brokered a ceasefire between the two countries. The Thai's caretaker prime minister told Trump that a ceasefire would only be possible after Cambodia withdraws all its forces and removes landmines from the disputed areas. In a social media post, Anutin said the situation was definitely not a roadside accident, adding that Thailand has already spoken through its actions. He stressed that Thailand would continue military operations until there is no longer any harm or threat to its land and people. His remarks came just hours after Trump said on Friday that leaders from both countries had agreed to halt the fighting and return to a peace agreement he helped broker. Trump described his talks with Anutin and Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet as a breakthrough, but neither side mentioned an imminent ceasefire afterwards. Meanwhile, at least 4 Thai soldiers were killed on Saturday in a fierce firefight between Thai and Cambodian forces around Hill 677 in the Chong An Ma sector. According to The Nation Thailand, the casualties occurred as Thai troops continued operations to hold and secure the strategic high ground at Hill 677 amid ongoing exchanges of artillery and small arms fire in the Chong An Ma area. The report added that 3 more soldiers were wounded in the clashes, all of whom suffered shrapnel injuries. At least 24 people have died in the renewed fighting, and 700,000 have been evacuated on both sides. In another development, Cambodia on Saturday shut its border crossings with Thailand amid renewed deadly clashes. In a statement, Cambodia's Interior Ministry said the government had decided to fully suspend all entry and exit movements at all Cambodia-Thailand border crossings effective immediately and until further notice. It added that Cambodian citizens currently residing and working in Thailand would remain there, while Thai citizens would also stay in Cambodia until a ceasefire is fully implemented. Meanwhile, Cambodia's Defense Ministry reported that the Thai military used 2 F-16 fighter jets to drop 7 bombs on multiple locations inside Cambodian territory. The accusation comes despite international efforts to restore calm along the disputed border. Thailand has yet to publicly respond to the latest claims as tensions between the two neighbors remain high. At an event in Selangor, the Prime Minister once again emphasized that Bahasa Melayu must be prioritized as the national language. At the same time, Anwar stated that proficiency in other languages should be pursued with the same dedication. This, he explained, is to nurture a younger generation that is more competitive on the global stage.
We start with the national agenda, Bahasa. We acknowledge the importance of English. We are talking about enhancing proficiency in English language for our own survival, for the survival of our children, our sons and daughters in the globalized world. Number 1, Bahasa. Number 2, English. Number 3, Chinese, including UEC.
Anwar said this at a Christmas high tea reception in Petaling Jaya on Saturday. He also said that his remarks on Friday regarding the recognition of the Unified Examination Certificate (UEC) as raised by certain parties had been misinterpreted by some and taken out of context from what he actually said.
Thank you, Yang Muhammad Dato Sri Anwar bin Ibrahim.
Meanwhile, speaking to the media at a Back to School 2026 program in Kulim, Kedah, Pakatan Harapan Secretary General Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail outlined 3 fundamental principles for any discussion regarding the UEC recognition issue. Firstly, Saifuddin stressed that the absolute priority must be given to the status of Bahasa Melayu as the official language and the national language of unity.
Kalau kamu namanya rakyat Malaysia, dia bersetuju dulu pendirian yang pertama. Apa dia? Bahawa bahasa Melayu adalah bahasa perpaduan, bahasa rasmi, bahasa ilmu yang wajib dikuasai oleh semua rakyat Malaysia.
The second principle, he said, is that proficiency in other languages, including English, Chinese, Tamil and Arabic, is welcomed by the government, provided it does not undermine the position of Bahasa Melayu as the country's primary language. Lastly, he noted that the government does not want any party to promote a particular ethnic language exclusively at the expense of national unity. The prolonged redevelopment of Kampung Sungai Baru, which has dragged on for more than 8 years, must serve as a lesson for future projects. Titi Wangsa, Member of Parliament, Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani, said the background of developers must be thoroughly vetted before any redevelopment proposals are implemented. Speaking to reporters after attending the Santuni Madani program in Taman Datuk Keramat on Saturday, Johari stressed that detailed studies are crucial to prevent residents from becoming victims of failed projects. He also said that residents must be united in redevelopment matters to avoid a repeat of issues faced in Kampung Sungai Baru.
Mereka ni semua tinggal dalam ketakutan. Dia tinggal dalam ketakutan kerana dia takut bahawa mereka ni akan dipindahkan kerana dia dengar banyak kabar-kabar angin, banyak pemaju dah datang nak buat pembangunan semula. Jadi mereka tak faham kat mana nak kena pindah, berapa jauh daripada sekolah anak-anak. Kemudian daripada adakah nak pergi hantar anak sekolah nak kena naik bas. Sekarang ni semua dekat-dekat dalam kawasan ini. Jadi sebab itu dia nak tahu, dia agak merasa tidak tentram.
Johari was responding to concerns raised by residents of Flat Sri Perlis 2 over rumors of possible relocation. The concerns stem from speculation surrounding possible redevelopment plans in the area. He noted that Flat Sri Perlis 2 is owned by Kuala Lumpur City Hall DBKL, but any planning must take into account all issues raised by residents. At the same event, Johari, who is also the Plantation and Commodities Minister, said he is optimistic that Malaysia's crude palm oil prices will stay stable, with the average expected to remain above 4,000 ringgit per tonne. According to Johari, the government is closely monitoring global market developments and external factors affecting palm oil prices, including demand from major importing countries.
Saya menjangkakan bahawa average dia masih lebih daripada 4,000 satu tan. Jadi itu harga yang memang kita rasa will be above 4,000. Kalau 4,000 we are quite okay lah.
Additionally, Johari pointed out that sustained commodity prices would help ensure stable operations for palm oil producers while supporting the income of local smallholders. Analysts are confident that average crude palm oil prices will remain firm and could reach up to 4,200 ringgit per tonne. 2 workers were killed when a crane used for unloading coal collapsed in Pontian, Johor on Saturday. The incident, which occurred at the jetty of a power plant on Jalan Tanjung Bin near Kukup, also injured 3 others. The incident claimed the lives of Muhammad Al-Farid Ahmad and Muhammad Amaluddin Hisamuddin, aged 19 and 22. According to the Pontian Baru Fire and Rescue Department, they received an emergency call at 1 p.m. regarding the incident. Following the report, 15 personnel as well as 2 fire engines were rushed to the scene. The incident left 3 victims trapped under the debris. The collapse also caused a small fire which was successfully contained. 2 of the victims were later extricated and confirmed dead. Their bodies were handed over to the police for further action, while the 3 injured victims were taken to Pontian Hospital for treatment. Police said preliminary investigations found that the crane's boom broke and collapsed while 5 subcontract workers were carrying out maintenance work at the site. In a statement later, the power plant operator, Malakoff Corporation Berhad, said an internal probe will be conducted to determine the cause of the incident. The area has also been secured as a precautionary measure. The company also said operations at its 2 Tanjung Bin power plants are not affected by the incident. Residents near an industrial area in Puncak Alam, Selangor were shocked on Saturday morning when a fire broke out at a plastic factory in the area. Flames shot high into the sky, producing thick plumes of smoke. State Fire and Rescue Department Assistant Director of Operations, Ahmad Mukhlis Mukhtar, said about 80% of the factory was destroyed with no casualties reported. According to the department, an emergency call was received at 11:53 a.m. before personnel from the Bestari Jaya Fire and Rescue Station were dispatched to the scene in Taman Industri Alam Jaya. The firefighting operation also involved teams from Kapar, Kota Anggrek, Rawang, Batu Arang and Petaling Jaya, with a total of 57 officers and personnel deployed. Upon arrival, rescuers found that the blaze had engulfed a factory measuring 200 by 300 square meters. Firefighters battled the flames for hours as the burning materials were not easily extinguished with water. The fire was finally brought under control at around 1:30 p.m. The cause of the fire and amount of losses are still under investigation. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission has secured the return of high-value artworks linked to One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1 MDB worth more than 100 million ringgit from U.S. authorities. In a statement, the MACC said the agreement followed 2 rounds of official talks with the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Department of Justice, DOJ, in Washington, D.C. and New York earlier this month. Among the key matters discussed was the recovery of 1 MDB-linked assets, including efforts to repatriate 12 high-value artworks purchased by former 1 MDB General Counsel Jasmine Liu, which are currently under the control of the DOJ. The collection, valued at around 122 million ringgit, was held by auction houses Christie's and Sotheby's. The MACC also said discussions covered other 1 MDB-related cases, including assets linked to fugitive financier Joe Low that remain overseas. Driver killed as car crashes into oil palm tree. This and more after this breather.
Belajar kini lebih semangat dengan TV Tuition. Lebih 5,000 video pembelajaran, lebih 100 hos hebat, terdiri daripada selebriti dan guru berpengalaman. Ulang kaji jadi lebih seronok dengan lebih 10,000 soalan latihan, serta ulasan guru yang membantu anda faham dengan cepat dan mudah. Apa tunggu lagi? Langgan sekarang dan stream ditonton. TV Tuition, belajar ditonton, bijak sampai lulus.
Kalau kita seorang je perempuan dalam bidang tu yang ramai lelaki, saya rasa itu bukan satu kurangan bagi kita. Sebenarnya itu adalah kelebihan untuk kita. Jangan takut.
Walaupun mereka OKU, tak nak pelajar ni kena habis dan faham baru dia boleh bersaing dengan pelajar yang normal.
Kemahiran ni hari-hari kita guna pakai. Lagi mana terlibat dalam industri maritim ni boleh jalan lah walaupun sukar. Dan TVET ni dia boleh menjamin masa depan.
Terus keping je.
Mesti shopping pun boleh. Siap ada diskaun lagi.
Melihat kembali kanvas penuh warna dan helaian fakta.
Menurut peristiwa, kisah dan detik yang membentuk arah negara dan dunia.
Imbasan 2025, retrospektif wajah masa depan.
Ahad 28 Disember, 5.32 petang. Hanya di TV3 dan stream HD ditonton.
Nightline continues. Police have launched an investigation into a viral incident in which a trailer transporting a helicopter caused traffic congestion and delayed an ambulance in Subang Jaya, Selangor earlier this month. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Wan Azlan Wan Mamat said a report was received at 8:06 p.m. on Friday after a video was circulated on social media showing a long trailer carrying a helicopter from the Kesas Highway towards the slip road leading to Persiaran Kewajipan. He said preliminary investigations found that the incident occurred at about 4:30 p.m. on December 4th. In the video, the trailer is seen unable to pass through the slip road due to its excessively long load, causing traffic congestion and disrupting other road users, including an ambulance. Police have yet to identify the registration number of the vehicle involved, and the case is being investigated under the road traffic rules. In Negeri Sembilan, police believe that the fatal drive-by shooting of a 43-year-old man in Seremban last Wednesday was likely gang-related and motivated by revenge. State Police Chief Dato' Alzafni Ahmad confirmed that 3 suspects aged between 30 and 40 have been arrested so far, and a pistol along with several rounds of ammunition believed to have been used in the incident have also been seized. Al-Zafni stated that the deceased was the bodyguard of a 47-year-old man who is suspected to be the leader of a secret society group and was injured in the shooting. Investigations are ongoing to track down other suspects who remain at large. It was reported that both victims were shot while traveling inside a car by two suspects on a motorcycle along Jalan Rasah Mambau, heading to the Port Dickson Toll Plaza during morning rush hour. The victims sustained serious injuries and were rushed to Tuanku Jaafar Hospital by members of the public. However, one of them later died while undergoing treatment. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for murder. In Pahang, a man died after the car he was driving skidded off the road and slammed into an oil palm tree in Maran on Saturday. The crash caused the vehicle, driven by 24-year-old Amir Zulfadli Asfar Sanudin, to split into two. District Police Chief Superintendent Wong Kim Wai said the accident occurred at about 8:18 a.m. as the victim was travelling from Bandar Pusat Jengka towards Jengka Lapan. Based on initial investigations, the car is believed to have lost control before veering off to the left side of the road. The impact of the crash caused the front part of the car, including the engine, to be separated from the back. The victim suffered severe injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. Firefighters dispatched to the scene used specialized rescue equipment to extricate the victim, who was pinned inside the mangled vehicle before his body was sent to Jengka Hospital for post-mortem. The cause of the incident is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Storm kills 16 Palestinians. The details when Nightline returns.
Wanita penuh tempo, penuh cerita. Inilah Nona, inspirasi bertemu realiti. Setiap warna mempunyai keupayaan membangkitkan pelbagai mood dan emosi. Semoga istirahat anda memberi makna yang indah walau tempohnya hanya seketika. Dan terus setia sejam bersama kami kerana Nona, inspirasi wanita untuk semua. Nona di TV3 dan stream ditonton.
Kanser tu dia naik daripada ke paru-paru. Yang menyebabkan kanser tu dia lagi merebak terus naik ke kepala. Menyebabkan saya jadi lumpuh satu seluruh badan. Macam saya ni hidup ni macam serupa mayat hidup lah. Fikiran saya time tu lah kan. Sebelum ni putus asa, rasa putus asa, rasa macam dah tak nak hidup. Rasa macam tak apalah, Allah ambil je lah aku kan. Sebab dah tak mungkin nak buat apa lah. Rasa masa tengah terbaring tu lah.
Melihat kembali kanvas penuh warna dan helaian fakta.
Menurut peristiwa, kisah dan detik yang membentuk arah negara dan dunia.
Imbasan 2025, retrospektif wajah masa depan.
Ahad 28 Disember, 5.32 petang. Hanya di TV3 dan stream HD ditonton.
Tiada yang bersedia menerima kehilangan.
Mungkin itu adalah salah satu cara kamu mencintai orang yang pergi lebih dahulu dari kamu.
Bila yang pulang hanyalah sekujur jasad.
Bangunlah, Pak.
Menampilkan lakonan hebat Dayan Trisha, Zarif Ghazi dan Matthias Mucius. Rumah Menanti Cahaya, Ahad ini 9 malam. Dicereka Ahad TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui tonton.
We're back with news from the foreign front. Palestine on Friday has welcomed a UN General Assembly resolution calling on Israel to end restrictions on humanitarian aid deliveries into the Gaza Strip. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry said the resolution upholds international law and represents the international community's response to Israel's actions against UNRWA and other UN agencies operating in the occupied Palestinian territories. It added that the measure reinforces the UN's role in protecting Palestinians and calls for the opening of humanitarian corridors and an end to obstacles to aid delivery, particularly in Gaza. The Norway-backed resolution was adopted with 139 votes in favor, 12 against, and 19 abstentions. In another development, Gaza's government said on Saturday that a powerful polar low-pressure system that struck the territory in recent days killed at least 16 Palestinians and caused around $4 million in direct damage. The Gaza media office said the storm Byron triggered the collapse of multiple buildings previously damaged by Israeli attacks, with civil defense teams recovering the bodies of 16 victims and continuing the search for missing people. At least 13 homes were reported collapsed across the enclave, all of them structures already struck earlier in the war. The storm also swept away or flooded more than 27,000 tents, leaving over 53,000 tents either fully or partially damaged. The destruction has directly affected more than 250,000 displaced Palestinians out of roughly 1.5 million people living in tents and makeshift shelters that offer little protection from rain, wind, or cold. 3 Filipino fishermen were wounded and 2 fishing vessels suffered significant damage after Chinese Coast Guard ships fired water cannons at a disputed South China Sea shoal. The Philippine Coast Guard on Saturday said nearly 24 Filipino boats near Sabina Shoal were reportedly targeted with water cannon and blocking maneuvers on Friday, while a small Chinese vessel cut the anchor lines of several boats, endangering their crews. Manila urged the Chinese Coast Guard to follow internationally recognized standards, prioritizing the safety of life at sea over law enforcement actions that put fishermen at risk. China's embassy in Manila, however, did not immediately respond to requests for comment. On to sports now and the 2025 Thailand SEA Games. It was yet another stellar performance from the national contingent, with Malaysian athletes bagging 6 golds, 2 silvers and 16 bronzes on day 4 of competition. The haul moves Malaysia inside the top 5 in the medal standings with a current tally of 16 golds, 15 silvers and 48 bronzes. The standout goal came from Jonah Changrigan, who ended the nation's 32-year wait in the men's shot put event. Jonah produced an 18.78-meter throw in the final to edge Thailand's Thongchai Silamul, who took silver, while Morrison completed the podium. Earlier, Amir Daniel Abdul Majid delivered Malaysia's first ever SEA Games judo gold medal, defeating John Viron Ferrer of the Philippines in the men's under 81 kg final. The remaining gold medals came from national wushu exponents Mandy Sebel, Sydney Chin and Lo Ying Ting in the women's Dualian barehanded event, the men's T20 cricket team, as well as the men's 200-meter freestyle. Meanwhile, Fang Zizeng secured Malaysia's first gold of the day with a composed performance in the men's figure skating event. On to esports 2025 FIFA E-World Cup. Malaysia's title defense has come to an end after national ace Ahmad Muhaimin Abdul Razak, or Mbappe, was knocked out in the semi-finals of the tournament on Friday. The world champion fell short against Thailand's Jomkata Yuprapat, or Jom KT, losing 3-4 on aggregate after failing to overturn a first-leg defeat. Both players battled hard in the opening match, but Mbappe went down 1-2. The Malaysian fought back and managed a 2-all draw in the second leg, but it was not enough to secure a place in the final. The result ends Malaysia's hopes of back-to-back FIFA E World Cup titles, while Thailand advances to contest the championship match.
And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at a Christmas nativity scene made entirely of chocolate built by Spain's Galeros Artesanos chocolatier, which was unveiled for audience in Rute near Corboda. With that, I'm Natasya Busst. Thank you for watching and stay safe.